Hi friends, let's stitch this beautiful blossom today. I already have a tutorial for cherry blossom on my YouTube channel, but for this one I used different colors and outlined it in a little bit another way. So I decided to make a new tutorial just to show you how I did it this time. I started stitching from the lightest shade. I'm filling the most of the petals using long and short stitch and 2 strands of floss. I didn't do inner outline because I know that I will be making outline later. So if you worry about uneven borders, it's okay. You will be able to fix those small defects by outlining later. I used 2 strands of floss just to fill those areas faster. You can use only 1 strand of floss if you want. I think 3 strands of floss will be too much. It will give too much volume and it will look a little rough compared to everything else. As you can see, all the stitches directions are pointing to the flower center. Just consider the shape and slope of the flower when you are stitching. You can make a few stitches for guidance and then continue filling the rest of the petals. You probably noticed that I didn't touch the part of the petals that are wrapped. It's because I will be stitching them later. They should look much darker, and for them I will use inner outlines. Also, as you may notice, I don't fill the entire petal. I leave a little bit of space for the shading I will be doing later, using darker thread colors. So just leave some space for it closer to the flower center. Now I can add some shades. I switch to the next color, slightly darker, and I use only 1 strand of floss. I make just a few long stitches for each petal. It will make each petal look more realistic. You can still leave some space uncovered by your stitches. You will have a chance to cover it all when you will use one more shade of pink here later. Here I switch to one more a bit darker color and add more deepness. I use 1 strand and make a bit shorter stitches close to the center of the flower. And they go between the stitches from the previous color. I fill all the rest space left, there should not be any gaps. Okay, those petals are done. Now I switch to the darker shade and I will be working on the wrapped parts of the petals. First I will outline it using 1 strand of floss because I want to add some volume. They should look like they are closer to you. I work using split stitch and I make short stitches to achieve a smooth line. And when I finish to outline, I start filling this wrapped part using the same thread and work satin stitch. You can switch to 2 strands and fill it faster if you want. And then using this thread color, I also made a few stitches between the petals to add some shadow, and now they look like separate petals. After I finish this petal, I go to the next one and do the same what I just did for the previous petal. Outline first and then filling. As you can see, the outline becomes hidden under the satin stitch. But thanks to this outline, the petal becomes 3-dimensional. It doesn't look flat and it gives an effect like it's really wrapped. For even more volume, you can use more threads for outline. Now I'm switching to a bit lighter color and continue making outline for the rest lighter petals. I don't outline completely. I just add 1 or 2 stitches for each side, making a gradient line. I want to have darker outline color close to the center, and the lightest color on the tips of the petals. I think this way it looks much better than when I would use only one color. I learned it when I was drawing and analyzing reference photos. I see that the more I practice drawing, the more I understand the colors and shades, where it should be darker or lighter, composition and angles. The petals are done. Now we can add some more details like stamens and the flower will look complete. I make one stitch and add a French knot. I'm wrapping 2 times. I make some stamens longer, some of them are shorter. I try to imitate like they have different angles as it is in the nature, if you will look at the real flowers. We also have here a few little flower buds. Let's stitch them as well. For the petals here I used a bit darker colors and I outlined them using only the darkest shade, because in the reality they look darker than fully opened flowers. And for the stems I used dark brown color, 1 strand and stem stitch. Remember where I left my needle in the fabric for a while and then I was dealing with the spot of the rust? This is the same place. I couldn't remove this rust and came up with a solution to add a little petal falling down to cover it. You can read more about it in my post on Patreon. Happy stitching! I hope this tutorial was useful for you and you learned something new. If you want to try your hand in thread painting and learn how to stitch this bird, join my stitching club on Patreon. Link in the video description below. All the pattern instructions and real-time video tutorials you can find on my Patreon page. I made a super detailed step-by-step progress shots and written explanations. You will see every single stitch I made. It's the most advanced and detailed video course you can ever find. Let's stitch this beautiful bird with me and get your skills to the next level. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave it a like and subscribe if you want to see more embroidery tutorials from me. You may also like to watch some of those videos. I have more than 100 videos on my channel. So see you in the next one. Happy stitching!